Hey guys, ever feel like something's slowing you down, even when you've got big goals? You're driven, focused, and working hard, but the results aren't matching your effort. It might not be your skills holding you back. It could be the people around you. That's right. Today, we're diving into how 9 types of people can block your path to success, even if you don't see it yet. These personality types silently sabotage your progress, limit your growth, and drain your energy. It's time to break free from those influences. Using timeless Stoic principles, I'll show you how to identify these people and apply practical steps to protect your ambition and mindset. If you want to lead a successful, fulfilling life without unnecessary setbacks, this is for you. Stick around, because recognizing these types can be a game changer. And don't worry, we'll keep it simple and actionable with strategies you can start using today. Let's get into it. 1. The dream killers. Let's start with the dream killers. These are the people who shut down your ideas the moment you share them. You know the type. You tell a friend or colleague about a new business idea, and their first reaction is, "That's too risky," or "It'll never work." They don't offer solutions or constructive feedback. They just pour cold water on your enthusiasm. Why do they do this? Often, it's because they're stuck in their limitations. They can't imagine thinking bigger or taking risks, so they project that fear onto you. Dream killers are dangerous because their negativity seeps into your mindset. You start second-guessing yourself, and before you know it, that idea you were excited about starts to feel impossible. That's how self-doubt grows. Stoic philosophers like Epictetus taught that the only thing you control is your response. You can't change a dream killer's mindset, but you can control how much influence they have on your life. So, how do you deal with these people? First, set boundaries. Be mindful about who you share your dreams and goals with. Not everyone deserves to hear your plans, especially if their reaction will make you doubt yourself. As the Stoics said, protect your mental clarity and focus. You want to stay true to your vision without letting their doubts plant seeds of fear. Second, challenge their perspective if necessary. Ask them why they think your idea won't work. Often, dream killers don't have a well-thought-out reason. They're reacting out of their fear or insecurity. By asking questions, you make them reflect on their mindset, and it might even make them pause the next time they try to shoot down your ideas. Finally, surround yourself with people who lift you, not drag you down. The Stoics taught that we become the people we surround ourselves with. If you want to grow, spend time with those who push you to be better, not those who hold you back. Your ideas need room to grow, and they need people who believe in you. Don't let the dream killers take away that space. Remember, the more you entertain these people, the more they become part of your reality. Cut the ties when necessary. If your goal is success, make sure the people around you share the same drive, or at the very least, support your ambition. Dream killers are like sandbags weighing down your balloon. Cut them loose and let yourself rise. This is the first step in breaking free from people who limit your potential. Recognizing the dream killers is key to protecting your ambition and moving forward with confidence. Take control of your circle and prioritize relationships that fuel your growth. The Stoic mindset reminds us to guard our thoughts and associations carefully because they directly impact our path to success. 2. The comfort zone advocates. Next, let's talk about the comfort zone advocates. These are the people who always encourage you to play it safe. They mean well, but their advice is driven by fear. Think about that family member who constantly tells you to stick with the job you have or don't risk starting something new. Their goal is to keep you comfortable, but comfort doesn't lead to success. Stoic philosophy teaches us that growth happens when we challenge ourselves, not when we stay in familiar territory. Comfort zone advocates are dangerous because they prevent you from taking the steps needed to grow. You can't achieve anything significant without risk. When you stay in your comfort zone, you limit your potential. It's like planting a tree and keeping it in a small pot. It will never grow to its full size. Stoic principles remind us that discomfort and challenges are necessary for personal development. How do you handle these people? First, recognize that their advice comes from a place of fear. They're projecting their insecurities onto you. and they might not even realize it. Their intentions might be good, but their advice is rooted in their need for security, not your growth. Second, politely thank them for their concern, but remind yourself that staying in your comfort zone won't get you where you want to be. As Marcus Aurelius said, the obstacle is the way. The Stoics understood that obstacles, challenges, and discomfort are what make us stronger. You need to embrace that discomfort if you want to grow. Third, limit how much weight you give to their opinions. You don't have to cut these people out of your life, but you need to recognize that their perspective is not aligned with your ambitions. Surround yourself with people who encourage growth and push you to take calculated risks, not people who keep you small. Lastly, take action. Don't let the comfort zone advocates convince you to stay still. Success requires momentum. The Stoic daily practice of reflecting on your progress can help you stay focused on the path ahead. When you notice that someone's advice is steering you back toward safety, remind yourself that success lies beyond the comfort zone. 3. The time wasters. Now, let's focus on the time wasters. These are the people who take up your time without adding any value to your life or goals. You know the ones who call you up to chat when you're in the middle of something important, or they insist on meeting up just to complain about their problems. These interactions leave you feeling like you've lost time you can never get back. The Stoics valued time as one of the most precious resources, and wasting it on trivial matters goes against their core philosophy. Time wasters are toxic because they steal your focus and energy. Every minute spent with them is a minute you're not investing in your goals or personal growth. You're constantly distracted, making it harder to stay on track with the things that matter. Time is finite, and how you use it determines the level of success you'll achieve. The Stoics taught that we should treat every day as a chance to grow, not as an opportunity to indulge in meaningless distractions. So how do you handle time wasters? First, recognize that not all time is equally valuable. If you're serious about your goals, you need to protect your time as much as you would your money or health. Be selective about where and with whom you spend it. If someone constantly demands your time but adds no value, it's time to set limits. Politely but firmly decline invitations or conversations that don't serve your priorities. Second, develop the habit of saying no. It's simple, but many people struggle with it. The Stoic approach to life emphasizes control over what's within your power, and your time is certainly within that domain. You don't owe anyone your time, and saying no is a way to reclaim it for yourself. Third, learn to prioritize. Stoic daily practices can help here. At the start of each day, reflect on what's most important and set clear intentions. When time wasters show up, you'll already know what needs your focus, making it easier to dismiss distractions. Lastly, remember that your time is limited. Marcus Aurelius said, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Every moment matters. When you allow time wasters to dominate your day, you're giving away something you can't get back. Protect your time, and it will pay off in your success. This step is critical in breaking free from the distractions that hold you back. By valuing your time, you'll find more room to focus on what truly matters: your growth, goals, and success. 4. The silent competitors. Now let's talk about the silent competitors. These people pretend to support you, but deep down, they're always trying to outdo you. It's not obvious at first. They'll congratulate you on your successes, but when it's their turn, they'll make sure to one-up you or downplay what you've accomplished. The problem is that this silent competition can push you into unhealthy comparisons, which can take your focus away from your progress. Silent competitors are dangerous because they keep you distracted from your own goals. You start thinking more about how to measure up to them instead of staying on your path. Stoic philosophers like Seneca taught us that true success comes from within, not from external comparisons. When you're always focused on competing with others, you lose sight of what matters: your personal growth and your journey. So, how do you handle silent competitors? First, recognize that their need to compete is their problem, not yours. It's rooted in their insecurity. As the Stoics would advise, don't get drawn into their game. You can't control their behavior, but you can control how you respond. Stay focused on your progress and avoid the trap of constant comparison. Second, distance yourself emotionally from their achievements. Celebrate their successes, but don't let them define your self-worth. Stoicism teaches us to value internal virtues over external achievements. Your success isn't defined by what others do. It's about how you handle yourself and keep moving forward, regardless of what others are doing. Third, don't be afraid to set boundaries. If someone's constant competition is draining you, it's okay to step back. You don't need to engage with people who push you into toxic mindsets. As Epictetus said, you become what you give your attention to. So, give your attention to what really matters, your own journey, not theirs. Finally, use silent competitors as a reminder to focus on self-mastery. The Stoic daily practice of reflection can help with this. At the end of each day, ask yourself, did I stay true to my own goals? Did I let someone else's achievements affect my progress? Keep your focus where it belongs, on yourself. Silent competitors can be tricky to spot, but once you recognize their influence, you can reclaim your focus. Remember, success isn't about beating others. It's about being the best version of yourself. The Stoics knew this well, and it's a mindset that will help you stay on track for the long haul. 5. The energy vampires. Next, let's discuss the energy vampires. These are the people who leave you feeling completely drained after every conversation or interaction. They're not necessarily bad people, but they constantly bring their problems to you, expecting you to fix them, or they're always in crisis mode, needing your attention. You walk away from these interactions feeling exhausted, not energized, which is a clear sign that your mental and emotional resources are being depleted. Energy vampires are harmful because your energy is limited. The Stoics understood the importance of conserving personal energy and focus. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on how distractions can derail us from our purpose. These people distract you from what truly matters by overwhelming you with their emotional baggage. Over time, this leaves you burned out, unable to fully concentrate on your own goals, and it stifles your personal growth. So how do you handle energy vampires? First, you have to set clear boundaries. You're not obligated to solve everyone's problems, and it's okay to say no. This doesn't make you selfish, it makes you responsible for protecting your well-being. As the Stoics teach, you can't help others if you're constantly drained yourself. To be effective in your own life, you need to prioritize where you spend your energy. Second, limit your interactions with these people. If they're a friend or colleague, manage how much time you spend with them. You can still be kind and supportive, but you don't have to allow them to monopolize your time or drain your focus. The Stoic approach to life is about balance. Help where you can, but don't sacrifice your energy in the process. Third, practice emotional detachment. Epictetus reminds us that while we can empathize with others, we must remain in control of our own emotions. Don't let their chaos become your chaos. You can be there for them, but don't absorb their stress or let it disrupt your peace of mind. Detachment allows you to stay calm and focused on your priorities. Lastly, focus on relationships that recharge you instead of draining you. Surround yourself with people who support your growth and keep you motivated. The Stoics believe that the people we spend time with shape our character. Choose wisely and invest your energy in relationships that are mutually beneficial. Energy vampires can hold you back, but by setting boundaries and protecting your emotional resources, you can stay focused on your path to success. Remember, your energy is one of your greatest assets. Don't let others take it without good reason. 6. The doubters in disguise. Let's move on to the doubters in disguise. These people seem supportive on the surface, but their words plant subtle doubts in your mind. They're not the outright naysayers like the dream killers, but they still manage to make you second-guess yourself. Think of someone who says, "Are you sure you can handle that?" Or "That sounds hard, maybe you should wait." At first, it might seem like they're just being cautious or concerned, but over time, their words can erode your confidence. Doubters in disguise are dangerous because they create uncertainty in your abilities. Stoic philosophy emphasizes the importance of inner strength and self-belief. As Epictetus taught, we can't control what others say or do, but we can control how we interpret and respond. The problem with doubters in disguise is that their comments often go unnoticed until the self-doubt creeps in, making you hesitant to take action. So, how do you handle these people? First, recognize that their doubts are a reflection of their own insecurities, not their abilities. They might not mean harm, but their worldview is limited by fear and hesitation. The Stoic mindset encourages us to understand that others' doubts are not our own. What matters is how we see ourselves and our potential. Second, acknowledge their concerns, but don't let them steer your decisions. You can listen without absorbing their doubts. Politely thank them for their input, but stay firm in your confidence and ability to achieve your goals. As the Stoics would advise, trust your judgment and remain grounded in your path. Third, reinforce your self-belief through daily reflection. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself of his strength and resilience, and you can do the same. Reflect on your past successes and remind yourself that you've handled challenges before. This will help you build a mental shield against the subtle doubts that others try to instill. Finally, surround yourself with people who genuinely believe in you. The people you choose to keep close to should lift you, not quietly chip away at your confidence. The Stoics teach us that we are influenced by those around us, so make sure you're influenced by those who encourage growth, no doubt. Doubters in disguise can be tricky, but once you learn to recognize them, you can protect yourself from their influence. By staying focused on your capabilities and shutting out unnecessary doubts, you'll continue to move forward with confidence and clarity. 7. The one-way supporters. Next, let's talk about the one-way supporters. These people are always there when they need something, but never when you do. They lean on you for advice, help, or a favor, yet they're nowhere to be found when you could use a hand. On the surface, they may seem like friends or colleagues, but their behavior reveals an unbalanced relationship, one where you're constantly giving but rarely receiving. The problem with one-way supporters is that they drain your energy without offering anything in return. Stoic principles remind us that relationships should be built on mutual respect and support. When you're stuck in a one-sided dynamic, it's easy to feel depleted, undervalued, and even resentful. Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." But in this case, the suffering is real. It's the emotional toll of always being the giver. How do you handle these people? First, recognize the pattern. Pay attention to how often someone asks for your help versus how often they offer support. If it's consistently one-sided, it's time to reassess the relationship. The Stoics valued equity and fairness in interactions, and you should too. Second, start setting boundaries. Just because someone asks for your time or energy doesn't mean you have to give it. Politely decline or limit your availability to these one-way supporters. This isn't about being harsh, it's about protecting your well-being. As Marcus Aurelius taught, you control how you respond to others. If giving too much of yourself is affecting your peace of mind, it's time to say no. Third, invest in reciprocal relationships. Find people who not only value your time, but also contribute to your growth and success. The Stoic idea of surrounding yourself with those who help you grow applies here. You'll find more fulfillment in relationships that give as much as they take. Finally, practice emotional detachment. One-way supporters can be frustrating, but as the Stoics teach, it's important not to let others' behavior dictate your emotions. You can't control how others act, but you can control how much influence they have over your mood and mental state. By detaching emotionally, you protect yourself from the frustration of unbalanced relationships. Relationships should be about mutual benefit. One-way supporters take more than they give, and it's up to you to decide how much you're willing to invest in those dynamics. By applying Stoic principles, you can create healthier, more balanced relationships that support your journey to success. 8. The controllers. Now let's talk about the controllers. These are the people who always want to take charge of situations, decisions, and even your life. Whether it's a boss who never lets you present your ideas or a friend who dominates every conversation, controllers operate from a need to be in control. Their goal is to make sure things go their way, and often that means shutting down your opinions or ideas before they even have a chance. The problem with controllers is that they stifle your creativity and limit your growth. They take away your ability to make decisions for yourself, which goes against everything Stoic philosophy teaches. Epictetus reminds us that the only true freedom is the ability to control our minds and decisions. When someone else is constantly dictating your path, it becomes difficult to grow, learn, and thrive. How do you handle controllers? First, recognize that their need for control is not about you, it's about them. They're driven by their fear of uncertainty or desire to feel powerful. The Stoics teach us to understand that we can't control others' actions, but we can control how we respond. Acknowledge their behavior for what it is, a reflection of their inner struggles, not a reflection of their worth or abilities. Second, stand your ground. You don't have to be aggressive, but you do need to assert your ideas, opinions, and boundaries. Be clear about what you're willing to accept and where you draw the line. This doesn't mean fighting them head-on, but instead calmly and consistently defending your right to make decisions. As Marcus Aurelius often reflected, it's important to focus on what's within your control, your thoughts, actions, and responses. Third, if the situation becomes too overwhelming, consider distancing yourself from them. You might not always have that option in the workplace, but in personal relationships, it's okay to limit contact with people who constantly try to control you. Stoicism emphasizes emotional resilience, but it also stresses the importance of choosing environments that allow you to flourish. Finally, remember that controllers thrive on reaction. Don't give them the emotional response they're looking for. Stay calm, detached, and focused on your growth. As Stoic philosophers often advised, your peace of mind is too valuable to hand over to someone who thrives on control. Controllers can limit your potential, but by setting firm boundaries and practicing emotional resilience, you can maintain your independence and continue to grow. Your path is yours to decide. Don't let anyone take that power from you. 9. The status quo lovers. Finally, let's talk about the status quo lovers. These are the people who resist change and encourage you to keep things the way they are. You know the ones. They might be friends, family, or colleagues who constantly say, "Why rock the boat?" or "Things are fine the way they are." Their fear of the unknown drives them to avoid risks, and they want you to do the same. But here's the problem. Success doesn't come from staying still. Status quo lovers hold you back because they discourage the very changes that lead to growth. Stoic philosophy teaches us that change is a natural part of life, and resisting it only leads to stagnation. Marcus Aurelius wrote about embracing the inevitable life changes, understanding that what happens externally isn't in our control, but our response is. When you let status quo lovers dictate your decisions, you're giving up your chance to evolve and grow. So, how do you handle these people? First, understand that their resistance to change comes from their fear. They're comfortable where they are, and they don't want anything to disrupt that. But your path to success requires you to step outside of your comfort zone, to embrace challenges, and to seek new opportunities. As Epictetus would advise, don't let their fear become yours. Second, gently challenge their perspective. When they say, "Why take the risk?" or "Things are fine as they are," remind them that growth and success often come from discomfort. The Stoic principle of embracing obstacles as opportunities is key here. Instead of fearing what might happen, focus on what could be gained from stepping into the unknown. Third, surround yourself with people who support your growth. Status quo lovers can limit your potential if you let their mindset influence you. Seek out those who encourage change and challenge you to be better. As the Stoics taught, we become like the people we associate with. Choose to spend your time with those who push you to evolve, not those who keep you stuck. Finally, take action. Don't let the fear of the unknown hold you back. The Stoics understood that life is constantly in motion, and standing still isn't an option. The only way to grow is to embrace change and keep moving forward. By doing so, you take control of your future and set yourself on the path to success. In the end, breaking free from the influence of status quo lovers is about trusting your instincts and having the courage to pursue what you know is right for your growth. Don't let others' fear of change hold you back from achieving your full potential. So there you have it. the 9 types of people silently holding you back from reaching your true potential. It's not always easy to spot these influences, but once you do, you can start making better choices about who you let into your life. Remember, growth comes from within, and part of that growth is surrounding yourself with people who support and push you to be better. The Stoics taught us that we can't control others, but we can control who we spend our time with and how we react to their behavior. If this video gave you something to think about, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I've got more practical insights and Stoic wisdom coming your way to help you live a better, more focused life. Let's keep building a community of people who are serious about personal growth and success. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.